Hey y'all, this is Stephanie and today I'm going to share with you how to use Google Forms to create an assessment and use the Flubaroo Google Sheets add-in to grade your assessments. Basically, Google Form is just a tool that's available within Google Drive to help you create surveys or tests. It's an easy way to use web forms without having to know a lot of programming or scripting languages, and it allows you to quickly create a nice looking form that will store all of your results in a Google spreadsheet, and then it allows you to be able to share it by email or by web link or a couple of other options. So it's a really cool way to create a test. It's really quick and easy to use. So to get started, you'll log into your Google Drive account, and then you'll click the New button and then click More and then Google Forms. Google Forms has changed here recently, so this is the new look for the Google Forms. You'll want to save it by clicking up here where it says Untitled Form and give your form a name. And then when you change it, it'll name your form here too. And if you notice right here, it says all changes saved in Drive. If I start typing, it'll say saving again. And then once it's saved, it'll say all changes saved in Drive. So you don't have to remember to continue to save it. The way it works is you can give your form a description if you want to. So this is an example test, and that will show up at the very beginning. And then basically you just start adding your questions. The first one's already listed there for you, so you can type in anything that you want, or you can copy paste from another test. So this is something that I created already to be able to quickly show you how you can copy paste. All you have to do is Control C and Control V will copy. Control C will copy, Control V will paste, or if you're on a Mac, Command C copies and Command V paste. And you can also copy paste all of your answer choices at the same time, which makes it quick if you've already created a test to be able to enter in your options. So you just click in the first option and then paste in, and it'll give you enough answer choices for all of the ones that you selected. When you get ready to add another question, you can click the plus right here. If this is a test, obviously all of the questions are going to be required, so you want to make sure that you slide that little slider over before you add your next question. If you're doing a survey, some questions like ethnicity you might not want to require people to answer, and you would just leave that slider the other way. It's off by default. So if I'm going to add another question, I'm just going to go ahead and add the rest of these questions to my form. And all I'm doing is copy pasting from another test. So it's quick, it's easy to use. You can add many different types of questions. To change the question type, you just click here and you can choose the different options that are available. I'm going to give a short answer question next. So they would have to type in the answer, kind of like a fill in the blank. And that's my test. Once I have my test created, I can change the look and feel of it by using the color palette icon right here. I can choose a different color if I want, or I can use one of their templates by clicking the little image and then choose any kind of addition that I wanted to add. So I can choose any of these, and they have a ton of different options available, so I'm going to select that one from right now. You can also upload your own photos to create your own template. So it changes the colors a little bit and sets it up a little bit different. If I wanted to preview what this form would look like to people that are getting ready to complete it, you just click the little eye right there, and then you can see exactly what it looks like. That's just a preview. And then the settings you might want to check with before you send the form out. I want to make sure that the people that are in my school system are the only people that can submit my form, so I can choose that. If this was a form that was going out like a survey on a website, you could put in anyone. I want to automatically collect my username of the people that complete my form. That way I didn't have to ask the student's name before they completed my test. It would automatically collect their user information, and I only want them to be able to take it one time. If I want to send a message to your students after they take the test, you can send in whatever you want right there, and it'll pop that message up after they submit it. You can have them edit their responses if you want. You can show a progress bar if it's a really lengthy survey. You can shuffle your question order for a test. That way each student would see it a little bit different. You can have them see a summary of their responses. But this is usually what I do if I'm creating a test. So I'm just going to click save, and then I'm ready to send it out. So I can click send, and I can email it to the students in my class if I want to. I can save this link and share it through Google Classroom or another app if I want to use. I can also shorten my URL if I want to not have so much for them to be able to type in or copy paste. I can also embed the form if I want to within another website, or I can share it on different social media. So what I'll do is I'll share my form out, and then people can take my form. So that's all you have to do to create a Google form. To see the responses as they start coming in, you just click the responses tab right there, and then it will start filling in as people respond. I'm going to switch to a different form that I used for a class to show you how Flubaroo works. So I did a lunch and learn, and the students, when I was teaching them about Google Forms and Flubaroo, they had to complete this quiz. I had 19 people complete it, so I can view my responses here. This is just a summary of all of the responses for the questions that I completed. I can also see individual responses here. So this is mine that I did first, and then this is the other people that responded to the questions. So I could see all of those at the same time, or I could see the summary view just by toggling between these two buttons here. And again, the way I got to that is you open your form back up where you're editing the questions, and then to the right there'll be a responses tab. To use Flubaroo to grade your test, all you have to do is click the Google Sheets icon right here, and it will open your data up in a Google Sheet. So this will show a timestamp, who submitted it, and these were the 3 questions that I put on my test that people answered. So to use Flubaroo, basically all Flubaroo is it's an add-on for Google Sheets. So you click on add-ons and then go to get add-ons, and you want to add Flubaroo. It's spelled F-L-U-B-A-R-O-O. So I've added it to my Google Sheets already. Once you've added it, then you can go back in and it should show up underneath this menu with everything else. So you just want to click Grade Assignment. And remember, I told you that I had to complete my form first. So the way Flubaroo works is the teacher would complete the form first, and then you have to prompt it to say which one was the answer key. So make sure that you've completed your form before you start working with Flubaroo to try to grade it. So what happens is it pops up everything on my form, all of the headings, and I have to tell it what happened. So the username heading identifies a student, today's date, I'm going to skip grading that, I don't need that. These are the questions that I answered, so I'm going to normal grading for that one, and then you assign it a number of points that you want it to have. So I'm going to do normal grading for both of those, but if you wanted to grade by hand a certain assignment, then you could do that, and then it would update your scores too. So I'm just going to do normal grading and then click continue, and then it's going to ask me which user is going to be the answer key. So remember I said you had to submit the form first, and that would be your answer key. So I'm going to select my response. That's going to be my answer key, and then I'm going to click continue. So then it will grade my assignment based on my answer key. So it takes it just a second. So I'm going to close that out, and then you can see the data. This was my submission tab. It creates a new tab at the bottom called grades, and then you can see everything that was graded. So that's how it grades your test for you. And then you can also share the grades with your students. You can view a report of all of your grades, so it'll show you kind of a histogram of the grades that were scored. My test is not that great of an example, but you can also email your students to tell them their scores. You can also, there's several options available that I don't want to get into with this video. There's a ton of resources online. If you just Google Flubaroo, you can find a whole bunch of ideas and tips and tricks on how to make Flubaroo work best for you. One other thing that I really like with Google Sheets, another Google add-on that I have, is this one called Save as Doc. And what Save as Doc does, I'm going to go back to my student submissions. If one of my questions was a short answer, then they would have a paragraph of text in the column. It would be very difficult to grade information like that. Or if I was going to go to a parent conference for one of the people that, one of my students, I don't want to have to print out the form this way to try to show their results. What I could do is print out all of their answers just using this add-on. So if you click on add-ons and you do get add-ons and you're going to search for Save as Doc, that's the add-on I want to use. And what it does is it saves all of this quiz data from this Google Sheet into a Google Doc. So I'm going to save this. I want to include the headings so that the headings will print out on my Google Doc, and it asks where the headings are at, so they're on my first row. And I want the headings to be kind of big on my paper, so I'm going to say that heading 1 is good. These are HTML headings, so heading 1 is the biggest. And then I want to add a page break after each row, so each student will show up on their own page. I'm going to select all of my data, but if I was just going to a parent conference on one student, I could just select that one person. And then I'm going to do Save as Doc. And what this does is it creates a Google Doc with all of this information on it. So I'm going to open it up so you can see what it looks like. It puts a timestamp in the username. Those were the first 2 columns, if you remember. And then these were my 3 answers and my 3 questions. So I think it's really helpful. And if you scroll down, you can see the next person and what they put. And they'll have 1 page for every answer choice that you did. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you can use this in your classroom. If you need any help implementing this, please give me a call and I'll come walk you through how to do it. I'm also going to link the Flubaroo handout that's available online so that you can get a step-by-step guide of what all Flubaroo can do. As always, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.